More Orlbmx Fox Hunt private practice gate session here. Gate 8, we have Sunny. Gate 7, we have Elijah. Gate 6, we have Wolf. Gate 5, we have Case. Gate 4, looks like we have Scott. Gate 3 is Palo. Gate 2 is Martine. And gate 1, I think it was Weston. Yep, that's Weston over there. All right. Let's see. The winner out of the gate here, I seen right away, was Palo. He jumps on everybody on this one. Everybody else in the gate just doesn't do the best job getting forward out of the gate here. And there's been a lot of this and a lot of these that I've been watching. Only a handful of riders get all the way forward on their bike like Palo was doing here. Looks like nobody else is really up on their bike like that. Maybe Elijah, he's coming forward. He's just smaller, so it's harder to tell, but he generated a lot of motion forward. And maybe he's just, his bike's so long and he's so small. It's hard. I was watching Ethan the last time too on one of his. It's hard to, for those younger guys to get all the way forward, but the rest of you for sure. Paulo's whooping up on you out of the gate here. He's way forward, got his head way out. A lot of you are standing straight up, looking straight out at the track when your head should be looking down, chest should be looking down. So you can be pulling on those handlebars and transferring power to the pedals. So let's get into it. Gate 8, Sunny. Sunny, you do a good job coming forward. Sunny's one of the novices and hasn't rode too many tracks or even raced that much altogether. And he's doing a good job out of the gate compared to a lot of you. Now, if we're saying, hey, you're racing, your age group as an intermediate or expert, you'd need to do a little bit better job. But in the novice class at Orlando, this is going to be a good gate because you haven't had much experience to do much better than that. That's pretty good. Driving with your head looking out, driving with your head first, chest over bars, coming out pretty good. What you'll want to work on is just to keep coming forward further. You can kind of watch Palo down there. You see how far forward he is. And then as you come through that first pedal and into your second pedal, you want to work on staying right here. And you'll notice you kind of start to back up and your butt and your hips go back over your seat post now. And that's really hard for that second pedal to come around when you get into some really tough competition. They work on staying forward. You can see Elijah next to you is forward on his bike through that second pedal, which is really good for him. He does good on that. Down the hill. Looks like you do a good job. You pedal all the way down the hill, so good drive down the hill. Chest is down. You have an opportunity to pull hard on your bars, so solid gate there. Out of gate 8, gate 7. Elijah, you have a good setup. Got a lot of distance, a lot of space in your rider area there. Your feet are really stretched out. Your legs are not a lot of bend in them, but that left knee is just bent, so I like a big open rider area, just not too much where your butt pokes out, and it's not. So I think you're okay there. One thing I noticed, as you can see, I go back and forth right here. You're fidgeting a lot, and that's not just you. There's other riders that fidget, but you're a big-time fidgeter. I have to think of something to keep you focused in the gate, staring at the light or whatever. Now, as you come forward, you'll notice your first motion, other than to come forward, is to go down. It's like you're doing a push-up right here. We want you to stay tall. Also, keep these wrists rolled up, Elijah. You can see the knuckles are pointing straight ahead. You want them pointing down at the ground. Got your chest over your bars through your second pedal, so that's good. Good form after that first pedal. Now you notice you raise yourself back up as you've come down. Now you see, get yourself back up on top of the bike and over the handlebars, and you're going. That's great right there. Just need to hold this all the way down the hill and through your first pedal with that kind of height. I don't want you coming down here. I want you staying up there. Good forward drive, though, down the hill. Good pedals down the hill. All right, Wolf, gate 6. You got your hips and butt way back, and then you see how far you thrust them forward, and you're lifting your head up at the same time. I want you to, as much motion and as forward motion as you give your hips, you need to give your chest, your shoulders, and your head. So if your hips come forward that far, your head needs to go forward that far. Instead of up, it needs to go out. You're basically just standing up in the gait. So that didn't generate very much forward motion for you. You got your wrists rolled up though, so that's good. And you got a straight back. You just need to push your chest and your shoulders and your head out past your handlebars. Right now they're behind it, at best on top of your handlebars. Down the hill. Good drive down the hill. Case, you did a good job on this one, man. Some of them you're sitting down, some you stood up, but in this one you stood up and you came forward right there. You pushed your hips into your bars there. Just work on driving your head out over your handlebars a little bit more, and came out a little sideways there, I noticed. So you almost got into the next door neighbor there, into Scott, but you straightened it up and stayed in your lane and got back on the pedals, so that's good. Good job, Case. Way to get into more and more of these gates, too. I've seen you in a handful of them. Full rider, full rack, full gate. That's good. Scott, good reaction time. Now Paolo's moving before you, but that's because he slingshots a little. You got to work on getting your motion right. When the gate goes down, you stand. You're like a frog. You're down, crouched down, and you pop up like you're jumping over the gate. You want to be this tall already, and then drive forward. And now instead of having your whole body standing up straight, looking out at the track, you could have your chest down and your head down, pulling on those bars, transferring power. Good job staying in front of your seat post down the hill, though. You just need to have your chest looking down so you can pull on those handlebars. Paolo's next. You're going to get an A+ on your gate, Paolo. I'm going to watch you, though, just to be sure that we're not missing anything here. Good timing. Way to be up on your bike. See how your hips are down, though? And this is the same thing I'm looking at Waylon's. Right here, you're up in the air. And then you notice you're coming down into your bike. You don't want to come down into your bike. You want to stay high, stay tall. Don't pull yourself down, but pull yourself forward. And then you'll notice right here, you back up off of your bike. Right here as your second pedal comes around. And now you're up in your position. We want to keep this position all the way through that first pedal. You're dropping in and getting on top of your bars there. You want to keep those hips up a little higher right there. You notice they're down here. And then you back them up right there. Down, up. We want to work on keeping your hips up and poking your butt out all the way through your gate, your first pedal. Sounds weird for me to say keep your butt up, but it's much easier for us and kids and everybody to identify their butt and keeping your butt up instead of your hips. I've noticed that through training over the last couple of months, and it's a little funny, but we just need to get over it and think about what we're doing, because it's going to make us faster. When your butt drops, it drops into the way of your pedal motion, and it's hard to pedal in this position right here. See where Paolo's at? This is where he starts up here, and then he's down, and he's not just the only one. There's two people in this gate I already talked about with this. When your hips drop, it's really hard to pedal, and you have to back yourself and your hips up and out of the way to get that next pedal in. So we want to work on that for a lot of people. Martine, you're next. Just got to get more of a drive with your head over your handlebars, and that's been a lot of your gates here. You had good timing. Can't see much in gate 2, and that's going to happen to Weston. I can't see anything with Weston either. But I know if Paolo's got his head out in front of you two like he does, then you guys needed to get your head out sooner and faster and further. And I really can't see Weston at all. He's up there good, though. You're up there close, so you had to be doing something right in your gate that time, Weston. If you would have had your head out further, you would have had an even better gate. So you're pedaling all the way down the hill. Let's see who pedals all the way to the first jump. Can't see Paolo much, but he's still pedaling. Can't see Weston. Martine pedaled all the way. Good. Scott. Looked like you got more pedals in there, but right here. You know what, man? You pedaled all the way that time, Scott. Good job. I was going to call you out. Wolf. Look like you stopped pedaling right there at the 30-foot line. Elijah kept pedaling. Good. Sonny needed more pedals in, and one more pedal in at least. Case, you did good in that gate, man. But you were taking a couple pedals down there the last few I've seen, so make sure you get those in. And again, nobody's working their way to the inside. Got to work our way to the inside of this first straight, guys.